Something I've been thinking about recently as final projects and final exams have been wrapping up here in Berlin is really around a flaw of mine. And not that it holds me back necessarily, but it causes a lot of inefficiencies in how I go about things. And so really what that is, and what I've realized about myself, is that often in group settings I take on more than I should. And I think that really comes from a lack of trust, and not a lack of trust in people, but a lack of trust in people's abilities or their intuition or their knowledge around something. And I can't remember when I first thought of this, but I think it was a class last year or something like that. And we were asked to put down where we thought we might have a shortcoming working in a team. And I was aware enough to realize that in the past, and I continue to do this, that I'll take control in a group, and rather than trying to get people to do things, I'll just take on more and more tasks myself. And it works out for the results. I mean, the end result is what I want it to be because I'm doing so much of it. But really I can overload myself when I do that, and throughout the process it can really be a grind at times. I'm thinking like, geez, why did I take so much on? Why couldn't I just have delegated it? So in the end I get the result that I want, but it can come at the expense of burning out or coming close to it, or just being generally unhappy during the process of it, being too overwhelmed. Like I said at the start, I don't know if it's necessarily a flaw, because the result ends up being what I want it to be when I take on most of the responsibility, most of the tasks in a project. But I think if I do that with everything that I do, it's just inefficient, and things won't get done at the rate that they should. And ultimately some things are going to be failed because I've taken on too many things, bit off more than I can chew, and I'll fail on some of them. And I think it does involve some sort of letting go, but that's where I've been thinking about, like, where is that exactly? Where's the line of where something is not important enough where I can let go of it, delegate it to someone else, and be okay with a lesser result? And for me, it's not so much about the mark that I get, the actual number, the grade, but I think it's about having my name attached to that work and that influencing people's perception of me. And I think that's a pretty natural thing that people have. You know, you don't want your name to be on bad work or on work that really doesn't represent you. But obviously some things don't matter. It's, you know, hindsight is 20/20. Looking back, if I look back to the start of my college degree, or look back at high school or middle school or whatever, the things I stressed out about then, I'd laugh about now. And it can be more difficult to see that in the moment. 5 years from now, what are the things in my life at this point that I took on that I'll look back on and really think like, no, that wasn't worth it. That wasn't worth loading yourself up with all these things. You could have spent your time doing all sorts of other things. It's something that I really think I should figure out here, and I've been thinking a lot about it recently. And I think it's really, I've been reminding myself that most things don't matter. I can speak to anecdotally, looking back at my life, and then just from what I've gotten from advice from other people, whatever it is, 90%, 95%, 99%, like, who really knows? But most things don't matter. And so I think if I can gradually relinquish control on things and build up a tolerance of being okay with lesser result, and really not caring about opinions of people in positions that don't matter, then I think the more I can do that, the better spot I'll be in. I really think this relates back to trust, and not like I spoke about trust in people and individuals, not trusting their intentions, but really just, trusting that things will work out, and not in a naive way, but what I've been experiencing recently, and what my thinking's kind of led me to, is that the more you let go of things, the more it comes back to you. And so the less attachment we can have to things, the better we are, and the consequences that we think will arise oftentimes don't happen. There's a quote by Mark Twain, something like, I'm an old man who has encountered many bad things, I'll have to put this quote on screen because I know I'm messing this up terribly, but who's experienced many bad things, most of which never happened. And so yeah, there's going to be things in life that we look back on and we wish that we did a little differently, but I think putting that into practice right now is really what's going to pay off down the road. Like I spoke about in my last video, that compounding effect of once you make a decision now, it doesn't just affect now, but it affects you now and in the future and however far out you want to extrapolate that. So the sooner I can let go of needing to have this perfect result, or this result that's at my standard, which I would feel fewer people can attain, the better it is for me and the better it is, for everyone ultimately. So those are all my thoughts on that topic. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you enjoyed it, leaving a like would help me out tremendously, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.